Strap yourself in. Wood were prohibited. Not available in state of shock.
Hi, Dan Schinder here on Drum Talk TV at NAMM 2014 in the very esteemed Tama booth. 40th year anniversary. I'm here with Terry Bissette. How are you, Terry?
Doing fine.
Good. And at first, I want to formally thank you. I didn't do this when we came up to you in person, but I want to thank you very much for following Drum Talk TV since basically its inception. And I see you liking stuff that we put up and commenting. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
It's fantastic.
Thank
More
you very much.
should be in the community.
Thank you. And that's really what it is. It is a community, and the drumming community, as you know, being a part of it, is different from any other musician community on the planet. We've got each other's back. We share each other's techniques and styles. We geek out on each other's gear. No other musician community does that.
Absolutely.
Well, let's geek out on some gear. What do you got? This is for the 40th anniversary reissues. Is that what it is?
Yes, they're reissues. We wanted to definitely talk about the 40th anniversary this year, and we wanted to pay tribute to a lot of the iconic drums that made Tama famous back in the day and up to current time. So we wanted to reintroduce the Superstar series. That was the first real professional drum line that really took off in the United States. The snare drums are sought after, and we wanted to also make sure they're period correct and they have the right specs. We did make some modern upgrades on some of the mechanical parts, but the shells are the right shells. And we picked the original three colors: cherry wine, super mahogany, and super maple.
I remember those colors from way back when.
Yeah, we also took it upon ourselves to make sure we brought back the T badge. Each T badge has the 40th anniversary date range printed into the scroll.
That's cool. I love the T badge. I was telling Pat Graham, I still have my 1979 Imperial Stars that I bought in 1970. Well, my parents bought them, but they're incorporated into my big kit.
Fantastic.
And I have the 24-inch bass, and I love the T badge, man.
It's great. We also took the time to make sure the drums look right, so we finished the inside just like the old days.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to look right, it's got to sound right. So would you like me to play anything?
Yeah, please.
I'll just run through a couple licks on each drum.
Okay,
This is an example of the 5x14. And here's a 6.5x14. Here's another 6.5 tuned a little lower. So the drums sound great, they look great. Every drum you're going to see for the next few minutes is a limited edition. Every drum comes with a hard shell case, and they come with certificates of authenticity. They also have a special commemorative sticker on the inside of each shell.
That's cool.
So it'll be for collectors as well as players.
Yeah.
Hopefully some guys will do both, but
Yeah.
you
I
never
think
know.
a lot do these days.
Yeah. So that covers the 1970s era. So stepping into the 1980s, we have two reissues. The first one being the legendary Tama bell brass. We were the first company, the only company to use a true bell brass formula in our snare drums. So here's an example of the 5x14, and next to it you see the 6.5x14. And bell brass has a sound like no other. Here's a 5.
Serious projection.
Yes, and it's also very precise. And here's an example of the 6.5, also known as the Terminator.
That's cool. That's
drums,
fat.
Yeah, it is. All the drums are 3 mil stick, 3 millimeters. Bell brass alloy.
That's beautiful.
There again, paying tribute to the original models.
Yeah.
These drums feature a satin raw finish.
That's cool. Cool. Beautiful, first of all these different... Sorry, I'm just admiring as a drummer right now. Okay, what do we got?
The other significant drum of the 80s was the Tama Rosewood drum. We used genuine rosewood shells.
Beautiful.
All handcrafted.
What's the biggest difference in sound properties between rosewood and maple?
I think the rosewood's a little warmer, a little more precise depending on your playing style and technique, but it's a little bit of a richer sound. It's not quite the same sound as Bubinga and some of the other woods we use, but it's sought after for a variety of reasons. So here's an example of the 5-inch. There's also a 6.5, and there's an 8x14. And as I play them, you'll hear a bit of difference in the tone.
Okay.
Here's a 6.5. And finally, the 8x14. It's got some warmth, the body, but also cut and projection.
Yeah. Very warm sounding, yeah.
Thank you. Stepping into the 1990s, the most famous snare drum we created in that day was the G Maple, 13-ply, extra heavy maple shell.
Wow, how thick is the shell?
How thick is it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. 11 millimeters. 11 millimeters. So,
I love that.
yeah, that's genuine abalone, hand inlaid. And for this series, we're using the Starclassic decal instead of a metal badge. Two models are incorporated here. We have the 6.5 by 14. This is African Sapele exterior. It's a beautiful finish. And for the 8 by 14, we're using Hawaiian Koa finish. So let's hear the 6.5.
Yeah. That sounds great.
Really crisp, really clean, and quite a bit of attack.
Yeah.
The 8 by 14 is a little darker. It's tuned a little bit lower. A little bit more of a meatier sound.
Yeah, what a great rock snare. I'm sure it's used for lots of other things, but that's just got that fat punch to it.
Yes, it does. And paying tribute to the 2000 era, the Starphonic drum. And if you're unfamiliar, we had Starphonics released just a few years ago. They have a quick release lug system, and it was also the debut of our new linear strainer and throw off. But this drum is unusually heavy. It's 5 millimeters thick and has an integrated bearing edge.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Certainly one of the heaviest drums we've ever manufactured. And weight doesn't really mean anything if it doesn't sound good. So I find a lot of pristine clarity with this drum. Really sharp.
That sounds great.
Great snare drum, great snare drum. So I think our guys at the factory did a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. A great way to honor the 40 years. It really is.
Yes, a series for each decade. We're very proud of these drums.
How much time went into planning this reissue?
I would say 2 or 3 years. We wanted to make sure we did it right. We wanted to make sure that we'd had some minor improvements and upgrades to modernize the drums, but still stayed historical. We didn't want it to be a total reinvention of the original drum. We want it to be a modernized reissue. So it has a lot of flavor of the original components and some slight modern upgrades.
Right. Very cool. Someday we'd love to come out to the factory and do something really in-depth. Perhaps someday we can arrange that for whatever we're allowed to show in front of the curtain, not behind the curtain.
There's probably a lot more than you were aware of that you could show.
Okay,
It's
good.
just a matter of getting to Japan. And that's a little bit of a hike, you know, but read a book, take a nap, and you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like Australia.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'd love to do that.
We can set that up.
Okay.
We can set that up.
Seriously, you want to go to Japan? She speaks Japanese.
Really? It's fantastic. Fantastic.
We're prepared. So thanks so much for enjoying, as I'm sure you have, the 40th anniversary reissue here at Tama with myself, Dan Schinder, at NAMM 2014 on Drum Talk TV with Terry Bissette. Thanks so much for taking time. I know NAMM's crazy busy for you, but
Yes, it is.
we really appreciate this.
Thanks for the coverage. Appreciate it. Appreciate what you do.
Thank you. Keep watching on DrumTalkTV.com.